Typically, when you're aiming, there's three things that a lot of people overdo, and the first thing is you want to work on the smoothness of your wrist, right? So like when you see here, when I'm tracking, it's like pretty smooth, right? Like you have overall like pretty smooth aim, so you shouldn't have this issue. But you can see like my movements in terms of like tracking it are very smooth, and that's because you should work on how smooth your wrist actually is. So part of it, a lot of people will have like a lot of issues, right? If you see some new people who are maybe new to aiming and just gaming in general, when they like track this thing, for example, you'll see like it'll look like a lot like this, right?
Yeah.
It'll stutter a lot, and that's really bad for aiming. Another part is that a lot of people who track and just aim in general, they overcompensate for directional changes. So when something changes directions, right, they'll over flick. I think I've noticed you doing it a decent bit, but you can see when this thing like changes directions, I don't flick and I don't overreact to the movement or the directional change of the bot itself, right? So a lot of people you'll see when it like changes directions, they'll do this, right? They're like very frantic, eagerly awaiting the actual directional change. So that's another
Yeah.
mistake that you want to do. And then the third bit that a lot of people do is that they just simply aren't very good at like reacting to actual directional changes, right? So at one point, some people are like very eager and waiting the for eager and waiting for the movement change, right? Other people, they simply just over adjust their aim to the actual directional change. So let's say here that this bot here is going to move to the left, right? And they over flick, the directional change. And that like is really bad, and it overcompensates every single time that this person's like spamming AD. So if you do that and you're aware of these issues that you're actually making, your brain will naturally like actually try and fix it, right? Another thing that you should always be aware of as well when you're aiming is the fact that you should never make your aiming more difficult for yourself, right? Like, what I mean by that is that a lot of players, you'll see that when they aim, I'm gonna go to something that's a bit more static, right, just to make it easier for us to understand. But when they aim on something on something, right? I actually need something that's moving slightly. Let's see here. Okay, so let's say it's this target here, right? Prism, can you give me your playlist after? Nice name, by the way. Thank you. On Steam, I'm assuming you're saying. What was I saying again? Oh, a lot of people like make their move, like their aiming, a lot more complicated than it needs to be, right? So, for example, if you ever watch Gale, he does like a bunch of like reaction-based aiming. So when he aims, right, he moves his mouse a lot, right? So he'll like constantly like move his mouse like this, and this is really bad for like when you're aiming as hella, because you're essentially just making the game a lot more confusing for yourself, right? When you keep your mouse still or you keep your mouse close to a target, the shots become like a lot easier to take. Look at this. I can very clearly with my eyes track where this fucking ball is. Yeah. Do you see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Whereas if you watch Gale's POV, right, he does like a whole bunch of this.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do that, right? So if you're playing characters that look to track a lot or that look to like click a lot, what you should do is you should keep your crosshair like close to them. You don't have to like perfectly track them because that's a lot of effort and it can also overcomplicate your aim. But keep your crosshair close to them and then you go for smaller flicks, right? So something like this, like this is kind of like a bad scenario for it. But you'll play, you'll go for the crosshair close to them, and then you'll do the adjustment to actually like flick onto the target that you want to shoot. And that's going to make your aiming a lot more consistent, and it's also going to make it so you're not as confused. Another thing that you also should be aware of is that a lot of people move very badly when they're actually aiming, which overcomplicates their aim. Often you'll see that a lot of people, when they're actually trying to aim, right, they'll move in circles like this, right? Have you seen that before?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really bad as well, right? Because moving, let's say that this target's looking at me, right? Let's say that he's standing still just to make it a bit easier for ourselves. Moving backwards and forwards doesn't actually do anything for how bad or for how hard you are to hit, right? All it does is change the perception. Do you see what I'm saying? So, like here, the ball or the target is further away, and here it's closer by, right? That changes like how much you actually need to move your crosshair to like follow this bot. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So unless something is actually like shooting you on the side or something, right? Like here, yeah, you should really only be looking to AD strafe, you know? And
Yeah.
when you're moving, it's also important that you understand the difference between active movement and what I like to call passive movement, right? So active movement is like, let's say that someone's actively shooting back at you. Yeah. This is when you want to like make your movement a bit more randomized and a bit more hard to hit, a bit more sporadic, right? But this kind of movement makes it obviously hard to aim at the same time, right? And then you have the other thing, which I like to call passive movement. And it's just movement where, in case someone's looking at you, you don't want to stand completely still, right? So this is like where you make your movement a lot simpler. And you simply just like very basically go left from right, right? To make your aim easier, but not stand still at the same time. And if you ever become very assured of like how, like of people's positions and like how aware you actually are, you actually do like you can stand still. Like it's perfectly fine to stand still, especially in a game like Rivals where there's not really that many things to one shot. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's also a thing that you should be aware of. And the next thing is that you can also use your movement a lot to aim for you. If someone's AD spamming you, it can actually be quite hard to hit them. So what I like to do instead is either you can do what's called mirror moving or mirror movement, right? Which is just where you go in the same direction as them. So you're both basically standing still. You see how I'm like moving in the same direction as this bot?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is called mirror movement, right? You won't really do too much of this, but like look how much more simple it makes my tracking. Oh, well, that one's kind of juking me. But you see? So you just match the movement of the bot here or the target that you're shooting, which makes your life like a lot easier. But I don't really do that too much because I don't really think it's fun. However, the other thing that you should also be aware of is if something's AD spamming you, like let's say this thing here, right? What you should do is really you should just use your crosshair you should keep your crosshair at their head level or whatever you want to shoot at, and you should just move your character, and it makes it a lot easier to actually hit it, right? Because it makes the game like super simple in terms of like what you're actually or when you're actually trying to click. So like you can hear like every single time that I click it, you know. Even
Yeah.
though I'm not shooting as much here, right? My accuracy is gonna be like way better, and it's a lot better if you're aiming on someone 80 spamming, like if you're playing Hela or Phoenix. Do you have any questions so far?
Well, one thing if I do, at least I think, you know how you said like you can mirror the movement. I do the opposite, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, that's more just like akin to the fact that like you don't want to make your game harder for yourself, right? So like,
Yeah.
so in terms of like fixing that, the most important thing of like fixing any issue is just that you're aware of your issue that you're actually doing, right? And as soon as you become aware of the issue and that the fact that you're actually doing it and you're willing to like acknowledge that you're doing it, that's like when it actually becomes possible to fix it, right? So being aware of
But
it is like the biggest thing that you should like do just to fix aim in general.
yeah, but is that a bad thing? Like if the enemy moves to the left, I move to the right?
I mean, it's
Or does that like overcomplicate my aiming?
I mean, it's gonna do more for them than it probably will for you, right? Like you're basically just on like an even playing field, right? But you're
Yeah.
making your life harder while they may just not even notice the fact that you're doing it, right? So subconsciously, I wouldn't do it if I were you, because you have to understand like from human psychology, um, human psychology just like dictates that he's not really going to be thinking about your movement, right? Unless he's like actually like an intelligent human being, which most players aren't. So he
Yeah.
won't even notice that you're doing it, whereas you are just messing up your aim for no reason. So I would suggest either doing that or not doing that, or just what mirroring the movement. We can also talk about like movement theory if you want to do that. Do you know
Sure.
anything about that?
No, not really.
Okay, so like there's like a couple of different techniques that I think everyone should like abuse in terms of like making it harder to actually get hit, right? So it's a bit harder on this game, right? But usually you have your basic AD, right? This is what you would use in like passive movement. So
Hmm.
you see how like this is very basic and very easy to hit, and then you can make it a bit more advanced. And the way that you make it advanced is basically you want to move a lot, right? You want to change your patterns a lot. You never want to have like the same pattern. And one thing you should always take advantage of in terms of movement is like the fact that enemy player um, expects a certain thing, right? They'll expect the movement change. They'll expect you to not walk in the same direction constantly, right? So it's actually really
Yeah.
strong to like, for example, here, let's say that the enemy is shooting me here. What you can do is you can strafe in one direction and then stop to fake the movement change, right? And a lot of players will overcompensate for the direction change, and then you'll just keep moving in one direction, you know, and then eventually you'll swap it. So it's gonna look like a lot more, you know, like this, right? And then another
Yeah,
thing you can also do is that if you play against anyone who's like actually advanced in terms of like their movement, a lot of them will abuse the fact that like you won't ever expect anyone to just walk into a wall, right, for a while, because you're assuming that they're like gonna walk away from the wall, you know? Like I'll see if I
yeah,
can get one of the bots to do it. One of the bots here is eventually gonna like walk into the wall, like here for example, right? You saw it walk into the wall, and it like
yeah,
confuses you a bit because I expected not to do that. So one thing you can do is, if you're very confident in your movement, is just walk like strafe towards a wall. Let's say there's a wall here, yeah. Just like you strafe towards a wall to make it hard for you to hit, and then you just keep strafing into it, and then you just jump up along it, and it's like unironically super hard to hit. Right? It looks completely stupid, but it's like genuinely like one of the hardest things to hit. And in Overwatch, in my friend group there, we called it the wall lick. So that's like another thing you can do in terms of movement. But what's most important for your movement, and if you're playing characters like Hela or Phoenix, right, is that you want to click, or you want to like time your movement with your clicking. So let's say that this target here that I'm trying to shoot this, right? When you're moving, or sorry, let's just take like something static, yeah? Let's say, do you see this peg here?
yeah,
Yeah, let's say that I want to flick onto that, right? When I'm standing still, it becomes like a very easy equation, you know, like a very easy distance for your brain to understand how hard you actually, or how far you actually have to flick to hit this target. Do you see what I'm saying?
hmm
But when you're moving, you constantly have to make a new equation. Do you see? So now it's a lot more complicated for your brain to actually understand how far you have to make it to flick to that thing. Do you see?
yeah,
When I'm moving further away, I constantly have to flick further, right? And when I'm moving closer, I constantly have to flick less and less. So what you can do to negate that flaw is you can stop in between every single one of your shots. If you play Valorant, or if you've ever played Valorant, or if you've ever played CS, you'll kind of counter strafe like naturally, right? But let's see here. So let's say I want to flick onto this again, right? So you just move in a direction and then you stop for a second, you know,
yeah,
and then you shoot on when you're either changing direction or when you're stopping, to give yourself like a bit more leeway in terms of like hitting something easier, you know. And this is not really going to do much in the way, in the terms of like you, like the ability for enemy teams to hit you, but it's going to do a lot for your aim, and it's especially strong on like tanks and stuff like that. um Otherwise, I don't really think there's much more in like terms of like aim techniques and stuff. It's more like about practice now. Do you have any questions?
what's the best way to practice?
It depends on what your issues are, right? So like I would recommend everyone to do ascended tracking, and that like kind of reveals a lot of what you're actually like, what your actual flaws are, right? So you won't really see too many flaws, like too many glaring flaws from my aim, but after you do this one, you should for hopefully know like what your weaknesses are. For example, again, if someone's like shaking a lot, it'll become like very obvious. Like it won't, your gameplay, for example, won't be as smooth as mine. Or if you like over adjust to the movement changes, yeah.
Yeah,
And as soon as you become aware of your issues, that's when you're like actually gonna work towards fixing it. So one thing that I can already tell you is like one of my issues is I'm gonna find it. One of my issues is that like I don't have the smoothest wrists, right? So I'm really bad at making very small movements from far away, and my aim becomes like super unsmooth there. So in order to fix that, what I used to do a bunch was play Fin Gauntlet, right? And then you play this and you zoom your FOV all the way in, and now here you're gonna be able to see like my issue, right? Do you see like how my wrist isn't like actually fully smooth,
yeah, I see that.
even though it like looked like it before, and it's just because like I stopped working on it. But this what's it called, scenario is actually really good for both like fixing how fast you adjust to movement changes, because you see how fast like and how well I actually adjust to the fact that it changes directions, right? And then
Mhm.
and then it's also gonna fix your what's it called, your the smoothness of your wrist. But that's like one of my issues, right? And this is like usually the one that I would recommend for everyone to do. And the main thing that it actually does is it fixes how smooth your wrists are. and it does a bit for directional changes, but not too much. But when you become aware of the issues, that's when like you can actually fix them. So I recommend doing Fin Gauntlet for doing that. If your issue is, for example, like what I had, right, where I said that, or not, sorry, not what I had. For example, if you're looking to fix your over adjustment, right, you can do Fin Gauntlet, and you can also do these ones, right? These ones, for example, if it wants to fucking start. Like these ones, right? Like a lot of these ones are gonna have like a bunch of things where they change directions like quite rapidly, and this is gonna like train your brain to like actually shoot where your target is and not like for some reason anticipate where your target is, you know?
Yeah.
So this scenario, and I have like a whole playlist for it, is actually like or is actually like designed and quite good for fixing these issues that you might have. Do you have Kovacs on your computer?
Yeah, I did.
Can you boot up Ascended Tracking? We can see if we can spot any issues.
Yeah.
Wait, can you send this playlist? Why do you like it, Valk? Oh, like this one's trolling me. We're gonna use our peen to aim in 2025. This shit is too long for me. No, it's Fin Gauntlet's not actually 16 minutes, Valk. It's you just have to complete the entire scenario. Like Fin Gauntlet's just like you just have to kill like 7 of these, you know, and they change like size and stuff. Do Finbot 8th bot? I want to see your accuracy. Sure. Ugh, it's such an annoying thing. Fin Gauntlet's one of these scenarios where you're gonna feel like genuinely terrible, like when you're doing it. Like it's gonna hurt in your heart, you know, doing this one. Like I'm not joking. Like, because your brain understands it's so frustrating that it can like see the mistake and it can't like fix it, you know.
Yeah. Sometimes I play this and my I don't know, my arm gets like angry.
Yeah,
I
you
feel
can
like
like feel it in your bone, you know, like that you're
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
pissed.
Yeah.
It's like really weird, but like yeah, it sounds really nerdy, but yeah, you are gonna like feel yourself like getting cancer from learning this.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't beat yourself up over aiming these, right? The main thing about Kovacs and that what everyone should understand about Kovacs is that Kovacs is not a game, right? It's a tool. It's a tool to like fix these mistakes in your aim. And anyone who tells you that Kovacs is like worthless is like completely brain dead.
True.
It like genuinely doesn't make sense for it to be like worthless. Isn't zooming in cheating? No, zooming in is just to fix your it's just to fix your issue on your wrist. I'm not actually playing the scenario to play the scenario. I'm playing the scenario to fix how fucking smooth my wrist is. As you can see, it's not fucking smooth. Oh, my wrist. You can see here I'm starting to over adjust a bit. See that? Because it's fast. Grapha in chat unreal? It's not Grapha. How are you 30 years old doing aim training? I'm not. This must be a hard watch for Serp. Oh really? What's a good score for this? I mean, you shouldn't really look for like scores or anything, right? Like I have a pretty good score. This is like a really popular scenario, and I'm 2,700 something out of 93,000. You know. You are 30 doing aim training. Renge, you are unironically 57 years old. You're balding. You're broke. And you're studying a worthless major. On top of that, you have no spine. Renge is not 21. Why are we lying? You have no spine on top of that. And your fucking accent's disgusting. Balding at 57 is not bad. No, but he's still balding. Yeah, so this is one scenario that I would recommend, right? And then obviously I showed you like one of my playlists that I use a lot, which is this one here, which is also like it's gonna fix a lot of the same mistakes, right? But it's just a lot more fun to play. You know, you don't really want to play like the same thing all day long, maybe. So
Yeah.
here, for example, right? And so if you don't want to play Fin Gauntlet anymore, and if you're working on like reactionary, like reaction and reacting to movement, right? This scenario is like also super good. Or sorry, this playlist is also super good. So the first one here is just like shooting these balls, and I just do them each like once, so I don't get bored. And you can see like even this one, right? This one like also trains like that smoothness of wrist a bit, and you see how like small they move or how little they move. So it
Mhm.
forces you to like both be reactionary and also have like fix that smoothness in your wrist. Another playlist that I also like using is this one here. This one. This one is gonna feel that. Why are you doing first person aim training for a third person game? Because it doesn't matter. That's not what you're fixing. You're fixing movement technique, or aim technique, right? You're fixing efficiency. So this one you can also do, but I personally don't like doing this one because this one also feels terrible because it doesn't die.
This looks AIDS.
Yeah, but you can see like how well I actually like react to it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I feel like I would have to turn my sense up to do this.
Yeah, but you can see this one's like super AIDS. The fuck is wrong with your Steam name? There's nothing wrong with my Steam name. Steam name. But you can see that like doing this for a 1 minute, right? It's gonna teach you a lot, but it's literally gonna give you like the most amount of AIDS on the like possible. But you can see like because I have like okay training on it, I can like do it somewhat well. But this one's obviously also a scenario that's like gonna teach you like what you're doing wrong. Like if you're not aiming well on this one, right? It's gonna be like you're gonna want to shoot yourself.
Yeah, I see that. I can imagine that.
Here, so I got 4,000 only out of 24,000. Remember, this is not the do all, like end all, on this shit little fucking thing. Again, what matters is like the fact that you're improving your aim. It doesn't really matter how far up the leaderboard you score, right?
Yeah.
New Prism, my bad, bro. But this one has like a whole bunch of these ones, right? Where like it's just all the same ones. But I also just do all of these ones like one by one. So this one I also like doing. This one's also good if you have like micro adjustment issues, right? So maybe I don't know what your sense is, right? But maybe sometimes you'll notice like if you aim close to someone, right, and you're like head level on them, sometimes like let's say this is Luna's head, right? Sometimes if you're like here, you'll just start shooting even though like you're very clearly not on the head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if you do that. Do you do that?
I don't think so, but maybe sometimes.
Okay. But if you have like micro adjustment issues, right? This is like a scenario that's pretty good. So this scenario is good because it forces you to be super accurate and these holes get like smaller or bigger depending on how many shots you actually miss, right?
Oh, okay.
So I'll show you like a little example. So here, for example, right? So it forces me to like, you see, like I have to make small micro adjustments because it's not very realistic for me to like actually hit these like spot on.
Yeah.
Is he? So this one forces you to like do micro adjustments like a lot better. If this is like one issue, but I would say like the biggest thing you should do in terms of like fixing your issues is the other scenarios that I showed. Like this is like super advanced. Like I don't really try to practice this either because I don't really give a fuck. But Alright. Another thing you should also understand is disable gun model. No, I like the gun model. Another thing that you should also understand is like the importance of hitboxes, right? So you might understand from Overwatch, and you might have played Overwatch, but characters have like different hitboxes, and when you learn these different hitboxes, it'll teach you like how to actually aim. So one thing about a lot of characters, right? It's gonna be kind of hard to show it on this one, but for example, characters have different hitboxes, and it's important to understand that they have different hitboxes because it tells you how to actually look at a character, right? So a lot of characters will. I'm gonna put up the game for this. Actually, it's gonna be hard to like explain it otherwise.
Okay.
Is the VOD enabled? I missed 30 minutes. Can make your crosshair smaller so you can see the dots. I don't care that much. I'm new here. Why is the Celestial Bum teaching an MRI competitor how to be good? Thanks. Hey man. Hey man, you don't gotta call me Celestial. Just cause I was stuck in Celestial for like 3 weeks on all accounts and negative win rate does not mean I'm Celestial. Yes, can you make this VOD live? It's live? Yes, I can. My voice is gonna be completely fucked tomorrow. Give me a second, I'm booting up the game. Don't ignore me, bro. I want to learn too. What does that mean? What did I do? Okay, I'm gonna show it here, right? Okay, so fuck, I have the crosshair on this game as well.
An opportunity for combat.
We're gonna use this one, right? This is my actual crosshair, or somewhat. So a lot of games, right? Like you should understand, you're not actually, for the most part, your brain's not actually looking at a character's head, even though you might think you're looking at a character's head, right? What your brain actually does is like it looks at a character's torso and it looks at a character's shoulders, and then understands that a character's head is usually above that, right? So I don't know if you've ever noticed, but like characters that move or characters have two different ways of moving. A lot of them move straight up, right? And others have like a bit more lean than others. So characters that have more lean than others are harder to headshot than characters who walk straight up. So think of characters that are like super easy to headshot, right? Punisher is super easy to headshot because look how straight up he walks. He has 0 lean. You see what I'm saying?
0 lean.
Yeah, you see how he's not leaning at all? His character's not leaning,
Oh,
right? He
yeah,
stands straight
yeah.
up when he's walking, right? So
Wow.
Punisher is super easy to headshot because he doesn't move his body at all, or his torso at all, and he doesn't lean at all. So he's actually super easy to headshot. It's the same thing with Bucky. Like how telegraphed like Bucky's walks are. He doesn't really move his head, right? He has like a slight bit of lean, but he's super fat. You know?
Yeah, I see that.
So his head stays like super still, and it becomes really easy to headshot him. So characters that you know won't lean a lot become like a lot easier to headshot. For example, Moon Knight. I don't know if anyone knows this, right? It's gonna sound super stupid, but I never headshot Moon Knight. Moon Knight's body is so fucking fat, and he leans so much, and his head hitbox is so weird that I never find it valuable to actually go for a headshot on Moon Knight. I just shoot him in the body. Look how much he fucking leans. I don't know if anyone's ever noticed this, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Like, look how much he actually leans, right? I just shoot Moon Knight in the body, and that's because like I understand his hitbox and the fact like his leaning, right?
On your toes. Here they come.
So just shoot him in the body. Like characters, you should understand like how easy they are to headshot. Psylocke is another character that's super difficult to headshot, unless she's like for some reason she leans less when she's shooting. Like look how little she leans when she's actually shooting. And let me reset her animation.
Step aside.
And then look like when she's not shooting, right? She like leans quite a bit. You see? Like look how much her head moves.
Yeah,
So
I see that.
thank you. Bless you, thank you. So characters that do lean a lot, you should understand like which characters you should headshot and which characters you're body shot. It becomes really apparent when I take an example like Torch, right? Like look how much his head moves. You know, look how much he leans. Like how
Yeah.
often do you actually aim for this guy's head? Nearly never, right?
Yeah.
But he's like an extreme example as to why. But you shoot for his body because his head leans so much, so you actually never see his head. Another thing you should also understand is if you only need like 1 or 2 shots for a character to die, right? I'm gonna go over here and do it to this Luna.
I rule all.
If you only need 1 or 2 shots for someone to die, you should just aim at their legs. Like, it's gonna sound funny, right? But Luna's legs, like every character's legs, is a massive fucking hitbox. So her body is like this square here, right? But her legs will be like nearly this entire square here, because it's both of the shots and you can't shoot in between her legs. So like, look here, this is gonna be a miss, right? Okay, well that's because I'm of a specific distance, right? But like this is, for example, a headshot or a body shot, right? And it becomes a lot easier to hit characters if you only need 1 or 2 shots and you don't need to headshot them. Just aim for their legs. Their legs are like nearly impossible to fucking miss.
Yeah.
Because of how big their hitboxes are. I can
I
show
like
you.
to aim at the toes.
Yeah. Well, usually you just want to aim for like their calves, but
Yeah.
but you're
Like
a freak clearly.
For combat.
On Psylocke, it's very good to aim at like the legs, because you don't get value from headshotting.
Yeah. So often, if you only need a couple of shots, right, or if you don't need to like headshot people, I'm gonna send you a screenshot here, right? This is from Overwatch, but Overwatch is hit, like you can see here, the hitboxes, right? How big they are on the legs. I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's quite a lot.
Here's like the picture from Overwatch, right? You can see like how fat characters actually are in their legs. Like, for example, look at Hanzo when and again, you can't shoot between their legs, right? Look at Hanzo,
Yeah,
like how fat are his fucking legs? If you only need 1 or 2 shots to shoot at their legs, right?
Sure.
I can show like the Gale thing like a lot easier now, because we have like an actual example, right? Okay, so in terms of like what I said about being like efficient with your aim, right? Gale, I'll show you how Gale aims. No flame to Gale, he has success aiming like this, right? But like, okay, so this is how I would aim, right? Keep my crosshair kind of close to Luna, and then I'll flick, I'll micro flick. And this like ensures that you're both consistent, and like the fact that you're gonna like have a lot of value, yeah? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see it.
And what Gale does, he like aims like this, right? Like he'll constantly aim like this. Like if you ever watch Gale stream, right? I'm kind of bad at doing it because like my instincts are like completely different. But he'll aim like this, right? I'll like constantly try and put this crosshair on this Luna set, even though it's not necessary, and it like confuses him a lot. So if you watch Gale, he actually struggles. He actually struggles tracking. Like, does Gale actually have tremors? I hope he doesn't. But if he has tremors, he shouldn't aim like that. But Gale will aim like that, right? And if you notice from Gale's stream, he'll actually like he can't really track very well, in my opinion. Like if you watch him track a Groot, he actually misses like quite a lot of shots on Groot and stuff like that. But he has success because this is like reaction-based aiming, right? This confuses you. Look how hard it is for you to see not only where Luna is, but where her body is and where her head is. You know, like
Yeah.
this is just confusing.
So scuffed.
And then like look at like how easy it is to like tell where it is here. You know, this is also a good
Yeah.
time to like show what I meant with like the with like shooting, right? Like look how weird and awkward this like looks shooting enemy Luna here, right? When I'm moving like a circle. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it looks awkward and weird for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's because you're changing the depth perception. Whereas if you're just ADing, it like becomes a lot simpler. You can also notice, oh, my aim's kind of shit right now, whatever. But you can also notice that like I'll stop shooting or I'll stop moving when like I actually want to shoot, right? Or I'll counter strafe. You see how I'm standing still every single time I click?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. And that like makes sure it a lot easier for you to actually aim. I don't know if you have any other questions. We've kind of been at it for a decent bit now.
I don't think so.
Okay.
How much would you say that I should play Kovacs, for example?
I mean, I
like-
used to just play Kovacs and Q, right? But like, I would definitely do Finn Gauntlet if your issue, it depends on like the severity of your issues, right? I don't play Kovacs that much anymore because I just play casually. I play,
Yeah.
I can play games for fun. But I depending on the severity of how much you do it, assuming that you don't have the worst risks of all time, I would play Finn Gauntlet once or twice a day, and then I'll just play like the other playlist that I have while I'm in queue, right? And it's like not really that much effort to just boot up the game and like play it in queue. And then
Yeah.
for someone like you who's gonna have like a bit longer queue, it's fine to just play it in queue. But if you're really serious about like practicing and improving your aim as fast as possible, you can see like major improvements and like get to like levels of aiming. You know, like me, even though that I'm not like I'm not the best, obviously. You can probably get to my level like in 1 month if you like take it seriously. If you want to take it seriously, play like Finn Gauntlet a bunch of times a day, and then on top of that, also play like the playlist. Like back when I was serious about fixing my wrist issues, because I knew that I had them, I would play the playlist like once, the full playlist once a day, and then play Finn Gauntlet once or twice as well. And it takes like an hour or two for me to finish all of it.
When you say Finn Gauntlet, you mean the entire 16 minutes?
No, it finishes when you beat like the 8 bots. It just has 16 minutes in it
Oh.
for it all.
Oh,
But
I
it
see.
finishes. The scenario ends as soon as you kill all the bots. It's not actually
I see.
16 minutes.
Alright.
Yeah. So, but make sure that you don't overcomplicate your aim and don't overcomplicate your movement. Right. Those are the two like biggest issues. Those are the two biggest issues that I see amongst like anyone. If
Yeah.
like I could be asked, I can show you like, I can kind of show you like an example. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna use this guy that DM'd me for help. I made him play this, right? And you can see like it's a lot easier to understand like the actual issues that people have, right? When you don't see someone who's like doesn't have those issues, you know? So this is like someone that DM'd me like asking for advice, and I told him to do this, right? And this is like after it was way worse before, right? I'm gonna flame him if he's still in chat here. But you can see how unsmooth his wrist is, you know? And you can also see here he like over adjusts for the direction changes. Did you?
Yeah, I
He
see.
over adjusts 4 times here for movement changes. So those are his 2 issues, and I'll try and see if I can find the before. No, I can't. He did it, the before deleted. But is that you, Renge? No, I am CSGO player. I can move my hands. Renge, you cannot move your hands. Like you genuinely cannot move your hands, Renge. But that's like the gist of it, right? Like this is gonna like really what's important and what's always important in terms of like improving is not having an ego. If you ignore issues, it doesn't allow your brain to like actually fix them. Another thing that I do that I abuse is the fact that I have a massive crosshair, right? I theorize that I just call it bigger crosshair, bigger bullets because it's more funny to say it that way. But all I use my crosshair for is when I'm actually looking at this, aiming at this Luna, right? You should never look at your crosshair. I'm just looking at Luna, you know? So I understand like how far I actually have to flick. Do you see what I'm saying? So because I'm actually looking at Luna, the only thing my crosshair is actually there to do is just tell me where the fuck the middle of my screen is. The easiest way for me to know where the middle of my screen is not by me having to like detect or see my crosshair in like my peripheral vision. It's just by it being there, you know? So I abuse big crosshairs because it instantly tells me where my crosshair is or where the middle of my screen is. So I would recommend people to have big crosshairs, but I'm like in the minority of that. I'm like probably the only person with a big crosshair.
Yeah, I think so too.
Prism, do you think aim is talent or practice? It's practice. What crosshair software do you use? I use Crosshair X. Or just use a crosshair and shoot the enemy. Use tiny crosshair. Don't listen to Renge. Renge was shit low in Overwatch. On top of that, Renge cannot fucking aim at all. On top of that, Renge thinks it's cool to be nonchalant. He won't ever admit anything. He thinks it's cool, and he's an idiot. Otherwise, I don't think there's like that much more to go over. It's like often a lot easier for someone to tell you what your issues are. So like if you are like genuinely serious about like actually improving, you could do like scenarios, right? And if you don't know what your issues are, you can like obviously just record and DM me what you think or like what it looks like, and I can try and
Yeah.
tell you what you're doing wrong.
I
Are
think
you
my
enabling the VOD to this live? Yes.
biggest issue is probably like reacting to strafes.
Yeah, and that's like a one that's like, it's not that hard to fix, but it just requires like a lot of practice. Oh yeah, that actually brings me to another thing, right? Ideally, you should become aware of this fact here, right? You should be aware that the easiest way to tell what direction someone goes in is their legs. Look at Luna, for example, right? It's very obvious which direction she's gonna go in because of her character model. She like walks in very obvious ways. So like my brain understands that, and in my peripheral vision, I'm like looking at Luna's legs, you know? So I
Yeah.
can tell like which direction she's actually walking in. And that's like what allows me to actually like see where she's going. Again, like think of it in the Moon Knight, right? Look at him, like it's very clear which direction he's actually moving in. Did you?
Yeah, I see that.
So that's like what is the easiest indicator of what direction someone goes. It's all about the legs, right? Yes. So you can see like Bucky is another one, right? He like quite clearly shows which way he goes, despite the fact he doesn't lean because of his legs. I am also looking at her legs very respectfully. Good. Prism, how to fix your IQ? Just think. It's like Renge, like unironically, is giving me like one of the craziest bits of advice like ever. Like in terms of like you should always play with purpose, right? If you're doing something, you should always be able to understand why it's good or why it's bad, right? Like you should like if I go in a position, I should always be able. If someone tells me why did you go there, I should never ever have an answer that goes, I don't know. If you say I don't know to something, there's something wrong, right? I will like you can watch my gameplay and you can like and even if I make a bad play or something, right? I can like explain why I initially did it or something like that. You should never be able to do something and not do it. I explained this to Crazy Kitty when I went over this with him, but for example, in Ignite, right? You saw like a lot of players play Jeff, and even into comps where Jeff clearly wasn't gonna get any fucking value with his E, right? Because everyone can protect themselves, you know? And they were also gonna like guaranteed mag ult them. A lot of Jeff players, for some reason, they just completely turn off their brain when they Jeff ult, and they just still go for the E, even though they're gonna die every single time, and they'll die like 6 times in a row. And it's like such a terrible mistake that people constantly do. But it's something
Yeah.
about like it's something about the thought of the instant value of like eating 6 people and killing everyone that like turns people's brains off when they're playing Jeff. I don't know if you noticed that, but I have.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot.
Yeah. So like you should always be able to explain why you're doing something, right? And as soon as you do that, like your gameplay should just improve like dramatically, right? Why are you shooting this person? Why are you not doing this instead? What is the like the benefits or the detriments of like doing this play? Like for example, if you decide to flank, right? For example, one big thing, if you're flanking, you should always consider what can contest me here, and are they likely to contest me? And that's like gonna make you improve a lot. And what Renga told me when we played CS a bunch is like, I asked Renga, how do I figure out where I should stand, right? Because a lot of it is instinct. But Renga told me you should always just think of like the best play to make in a situation is you should think of yourself as the enemy, put yourself in the enemy's shoes, and then think, what would I hate for someone to do right now? And that's probably the best play. So like let's say that I'm playing Bucky here in main, right? And there's like a massive fucking flank high ground here. What would I hate for enemy Hela to do? Fucking be there, right? Because I can't fucking do anything about it. So the proper play, if you're the Hela, is probably to somehow get up there. You know? Like this was actually like genuinely like it sounds so simple when you're saying it, right? But it's like genuinely such a busted piece of advice to just think what would be the like what would you hate to happen if you were the enemy here? You know? So that's like what keeps you safe a lot in supports, right? It's let's say that I'm playing Luna and I know they have a Venom, right? What would I hate for Venom to do, right? Let's say I'm playing on top of my other support and I know Venom has ult. What would I hate for Venom to do? Fly into us and ult us both. So I'm gonna walk away from him, you know? So he has to ult one of us, you know?
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like super easy to like actually understand that, and that's super valuable advice.
Stars?
Anyways, it's getting kind of late. I think we've been at it for almost an hour now, or some shit like that. Have we not?
Really?
Yeah, for 55 minutes.
Oh, hasn't felt that long.
Yeah. That's why Jeff was Turbo 8's first few seasons. Just fucking everyone hated everything he did. True. It's like the same thing as like in terms of like what character you should play, right? What character would I hate for enemy team to go here? You know. That's like a super strong piece of advice that Renga told me. So you know, sometimes idiots do spew a bit of wisdom, and it's worth listening to. But if you don't have any
Yeah.
questions, I think I'll just let you go, and I'll answer chat's questions for a while if they have any.
Don't think I.
Is that your new crosser? No, I just enabled it for the aim training, Seichiro.
I don't think I have any.
You don't have any questions? That's fine. You'll like
Yeah.
you as soon as you become aware of the issues, like I'll notice, for example, my issues mid game, right? So I'm very, very aware of it.
Yeah.
Another thing every player should be able to do. I've said this before. I think I've said it to Haunt. Let me find what I said. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Here, in my opinion, every player should be able to play or to answer these three questions. Are you in my chat?
Yes.
Okay. Every player should be able to answer these three questions, right? And if they can't answer these three questions, there's something wrong with like what you're doing, right? Either your ego is too big, or something else, right? If you can't answer these three questions, you have an issue. So the questions are: do you think you're a good player? What are your strengths and weaknesses, and what do you need to work on? And if you can't answer these like very intricately, it means you have like an issue that you're not aware of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
like you should always be able to answer these three questions. Like right now, I could ask anyone like these questions, and a lot of people wouldn't be able to answer them, and a lot of people won't answer them truthfully. And that's like a sign of you having an ego, and ego prevents you from improving.
Yeah.
Look,
I
for
agree.
example, here Webshe says he has good aim, good aim, good game sense, good positioning. He's completely brain dead. This guy's got cancer. Is gooning a strength? Yes, it shows that you are persistent. You know, you don't give up.
There they are.
You're resilient. But every player should be able to answer those three questions. It's why I like ask it a lot in ranked if I like want to flame someone.
Stay cool.
Because like a lot of players are like they do understand that they're not good, but they still have an ego for some reason. So you just ask them, "Do you think you're a good player?" And then they will usually stutter because they know that they're not deep down. But you should always be open about yourself, to yourself at least. I'm open about myself to everyone. Alright, that was the last bit, I would assume.
What do I do for an encore?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go now. Hopefully that was useful to you. Maybe you can pick up one thing or two things that were useful. Maybe it was
Yeah,
all
I can-
fucking shit and I just wasted an hour of your life. If I did, I apologize.
I'll pick up a few things.
Hopefully.
Something you can do is send that playlist.
Yeah, I'll send everything later.
Okay.
See them?
Duo Chessel,
Yes.
can you coach another person? Please coach Shiteru. Maybe. If Shiteru sends me like a VOD of him doing ascended tracking, I can. I'm gonna go now, Leolis.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Prism, let's hella duel next time we're against each other. What are your weaknesses, Prism? Do you want me to answer these three questions? Or what? We're not playing marbles, Blargle. You missed it. We missed it. You missed it. We played a bunch. Prism, weakness is everything. Answer this question, please. Okay, so in terms of if I think I'm a good player or not, I do not think I'm a good player, no. What are your strengths? Okay, so what I do very well is obviously the fact that I am, for the most part, mechanically talented, right? I can move my hands to a certain degree.
You seen stars?
I also, well, most of it boils down to mechanical positioning or mechanical skill. I think I have pretty decent positioning for the most part, especially on support. I also, what was I about to say? I also have very, very good awareness, right? Like if you watch me on Luna, you'll like usually see that like you don't really need to tell me that you need healing. I have very good awareness of like both my teammates and enemy team. In terms of my weaknesses, it's like quite a long list, right? Like sometimes I'll like go troll my positioning, right? I'll go somewhere where I shouldn't be, and like I haven't really assessed the issues with this position, or I autopilot to that position, right? Another issue that I have, and like for example support, is that I greed my ults a lot. And because I greed my ults a lot, it can sometimes lead to the fact that I either lose a fight or that I simply let someone die, right? Another glaring obvious issue is the fact that I'm not exactly the nicest person, right? Like it's very busted to be nice to people in ranked and to be PMA and not to be annoying. But I don't really care that much, and I'm fine with being annoying and mean because I think it's fun. It's like borderline psychotic, but you know, it's whatever. Another one of my weaknesses is the fact that I self-sabotage a lot, right? I'll put myself in positions where I either can't fail or I have no chances of failing, right? Just in order to like feel more secure about myself and in order to like be more confident in something, right? So for example, here I'll prove it right now, right? One thing is like, for example, if I go to Bayonetta, right? I am 75% win rate on Hela. But how often do I actually play Hela? Like when I'm on DPS, how often do you guys actually see me on Hela? You guys don't see me on Hela that often. And there's a reason for that. I don't play Hela that often because it's a character that I feel secure in. You know, I can lie to myself. No, that's not true. I can lie to myself and not play it and then maybe still win a game either way. And it makes me feel more confident in myself. You know, it makes me feel more secure in myself. It's also borderline why I don't play professionally. I'll hide behind this like fake excuse of, oh, I have a bright future in the academics, which I do, right? But let's not like I do lie to myself, right? Like I lie to myself just for fun. I don't know why I do it, but I self-sabotage. But let's not pretend like I can't be a good player, you know? Like I do for like what I actually put into the game and how hard I actually try, right? I am a very good player in that sense, right? I'm a bad player relative to like the actual good players in my opinion, right? But it's not like I couldn't go LFT and scrim, but I would feel terrible with myself if I tried to go pro and I couldn't make it, you know? So I just don't go pro. I don't go pro. I didn't do it in Overwatch just so I can self-sabotage and feel more secure in myself. It's also why I didn't stream for a while, you know? Like it's gotta be like one of the most embarrassing things for like to see someone try to become a streamer and even and see them fail, you know? Like that's not self-sabotage, it's knowing your limits. No, it's self-sabotage. If you want something, you should work towards it. If you want something, you can work towards it. I just deliberately self-sabotage and I'm aware of the issue that I do, or the fact that I do it. Like I didn't stream for a while because I was literally, again, it would be like one of the saddest things to like watch someone try to go, try to like become a professional streamer and then just like not succeed. You know, everyone's gonna hate watch you if you're doing anything successful. It's why I don't really care about anyone's opinion other than my own, right? Because I understand human psychology. I thought you stream for fun. And that's the excuse that I hid behind. Like I'm not gonna lie, right? Like if I like all of a sudden get 2,000 viewers for no fucking reason, I'm not getting a job. Like everyone streams and plays a video game with understanding the idea that who knows, for some reason there might be a chance that I'll make it in this thing, you know? That's why I think it's so important for games to actually have like competitive scene, right? Every retard, when you start a game, you fantasize about the idea of doing the best in that game and making a bajillion dollars off of it. You'll fantasize about this when you're doing sports. You'll fantasize about this when you're playing video games, when you're doing anything in your life that has a attachment to what you're actually gonna be in your future, right? everyone will fantasize about it.
The enemy has arrived.
Like I'm not gonna lie and sit here and say that like I don't think or like I have not imagined like having a bajillion viewers, you know? I have like 6 different friends that have all become like professional streamers. Do I wish that it were me? Fuck yes I do. I don't want to fucking work. I don't want to fucking go to school. I just want to sit here, play video games, possibly goon a couple times a day, probably during the weekend so I can take a day off, you know? Are you studying psychology? No, but I just understand like I just understand humans, you know? Bro, you're a bit too hard on yourself. I'm not too hard on myself. I'm just realistic, you know. I'm okay with understanding the situation that I'm in, and again, I don't mind being open. Like, I don't care about anyone else's opinion. I think if this helps anyone else, like, pursue whatever the fuck they want and stuff like that, I think it's fine. Like, I genuinely hate the idea of nonchalance and like simply just you know, acting cool. It's why I hate people who say like Kovacs isn't useful. It doesn't make sense for, you know, to say that Kovacs isn't useful. Imagine if you told Messi that doing shooting drills was worthless. Like, are you fucking stupid? Like, it doesn't make sense for it to be bad. So the click sets, I need to deep dive into my psyche, baller. I mean, to a certain degree. No one wants to fucking work. True. Imagine getting myself MVP at MRI is a daily thing for me, Loki. See, exactly. Anyone who says they want a real job is lying to themselves. Also, fuck you, Prism. What did I do? Said you'd coach me and never did. You never asked me to. Please, can you please coach ICDCAD? Yeah, DM me. You're a real one? Thank you. Prism, Deadash, you could be a streamer. You're funny as fuck and you're like actually a good person and good at the game. I'm gonna be brutally honest to you here, right? I am not a good person. Like, I have good values, I have good morals, right? But I don't have good actions. I'm not a good person. You should not idolize me. You should not idealize me in any way. I am not a good person.
Here they come now.
So that's why you get rage baited by being called nonchalant. Yes, I hate the idea of nonchalantness. I mean, you did go from 10 viewers to 60 in like a week. Yeah, I have very good progression on numbers. And I do think that I have like a potential as a streamer, right? But I'm not a good person. Every streamer has 2 things of value, right? Either you're watched for your gameplay or you're watched for your personality. People like okay, I'm gonna say Kai Cenat here, right? Just because he's an example. But people like Kai Cenat are watched for their personality, you know? Players like Shroud are watched for their gameplay. If you go to Shroud's stream, his chat is slow as fuck. He shows no fucking personality. He's literally known for being like a dead face, you know? Because he's got no fucking personality. I literally cannot stomach watching a Shroud stream. The very, very rare streamers have both. You know, think of XQC. He had good gameplay for a while, and he has all the fucking personality in the world. Like, think about what you want of XQC. He does have personality. Yeah, he's not a good person. He's a piece of shit. Spinning facts. Good person. Yo, the haunt server private chat logs got leaked. How many N-words did I just read? I've never said the N-word. Prism, you're not a good person. You're not a bad person. You're just a bad person. No, I'm definitely a bad person. Prism, you're really nice to me, and all you've ever done is be nice to me. So I feel like I've only seen that side of you. I mean, I have no reason to be mean to people. You know, like what? The reason why I'm mean to people in this game is due to the fact that I can't stand someone not being honest with themselves. You know, like look at how many times that I flame someone, and then they'll make up some shit excuse. Like think of my invis earlier today. Why did you not invis ult? You know, he should have just gone, sorry, bro, I didn't think I would need it to. That's fine. You know, I'll immediately, like, you'll never see me flame someone who adds up to their own mistake. You'll see immediately when I ult and my ult is bad or something, I'll immediately flame myself. You'll immediately hear me go, why the fuck is my mag ulting? Why the fuck did we Luna ult? Sorry, I fucking into this ult, you know? Like, the issue is that people have ego, you know? Is it coaching time? If someone wants to be coached, I can, yeah. Wants to be pro streamer, can't even enable VODs. Okay, bum. I actually don't know why I don't enable VODs. I think I don't enable VODs because I don't like the idea of someone watching through my VOD to like look for like a reaction or something, you know? So it like annoys me. It's also why I don't like pay attention to people typing to me because it's like brain dead. Moxie 2, you never said the N-word? I have never said the N-word, no. Watch the clip. I said Namor. Did you see the XQC interview at LAN? I did not. You're the same views as Saipan when I first started watching him. Saipan's a nice guy. Prism is single-handedly making Danish high school students meaner. I'm not very nice to that. Is that really mean then? To a certain degree. I've never seen you flame someone without a reason. You ask them a question, they give you the most shit response, where they totally either ignore the main point or pretend like they did nothing wrong. Exactly. Coach me, I have Namer VOD from season 1.5. No. I want to be coach another day. Exclamation mark play. Fuck you, Allura. Coach, my Venom aim, it's so bad. I don't know why. Venom aim, from my understanding, right? You're shooting 4 different tentacles, right? Like, here, I'm gonna show you. Venom aim doesn't actually, this is not 4 shots in the same place, you know? When you shoot on Venom, you're shooting like this, right? You're shooting in a square. So what I see other Venoms play, it's kind of hard to coach aiming on a character that I don't really play, right? But you want to shoot down into them, you know? You want to shoot down into them. And shooting down into them ensures that you hit the most shots as possible and then aim slightly to the right. So like, look, for example, on this guy here. Aim down on him on the right. You know? That's all the coaching I can give you on this. Last time I saw you, you let your second support die. You said, haha, let's act like that never happened and we'd lose the fight anyway. Exactly. Help me ascend. Can you enable this VOD? I will, yes. Hi Prism, hi Valk. Prism will coach me off stream? Maybe, yes. I want to rewatch this segment. Why? Literally everyone wants coaching. Can you watch my ascended tracking clip real quick? Yeah. I'm not coaching you right now, Hisaka. Coach my Wolverine? Oh wait, your turbo buns? My bad, bro. Rivals players definitely deserve to be flamed. Yeah. Can you find old game IDs? What do you mean? Hi Miranda. Lol. Prism, who do you fuck with more? Alex Fuentes or Alex Jones? One's a pedophile and the other one's like a hard right winger who is like hypocritical. No? Didn't this Nick Fuentes guy have like a video of him sucking penis like leaked or something? It's processing. Wait, just send it to me on Discord. You should do reruns though for growth. I don't know how to even do reruns. What? Yeah? No, it's true. I don't feel welcome here. Nick Fuentes had like a video of him sucking penis out, yeah? Him and Destiny? Yeah, what he said. Run the VOD again, rerun? Yeah, but I don't know actually like the practicalities behind doing it, you know? Mostly weird people are watching VODs looking to stroke their ego because they killed the streamer and want to find phrases to clip out of context. Yeah, and that's kind of the idea behind why I don't want to enable VODs, right? I just hide it behind, again, like I hide it behind in an effort to like look cool, you know? I'll hide it behind this like, oh, I can't enable it because of DMCA, you know? Waru Vasher? Not now. I don't feel welcome here, why not? I don't think you're a bad person, bro. There's people out there committing crimes, cheating on their partners, grooming kids, and gooning to Tepic. In the grand scheme of things, making fun of people in ranked ain't really up there. I'm sorry to tell you, bro, but I goon to Tepic every single day. I missed the first bit. I need the VOD. So you fuck with Alex Jones more? Alex Jones is like a